I was wondering,
Yeah.
do you care about being cool?
Like, do I care about what people say type thing? I mean, people can always say like I don't care what people think, but like to an extent, I think we all care a little bit about what people think. I think from what I am today, I care a lot less than when I ca- when than before, alhamdulillah. And because I just realized that like 99.9% of people's opinions don't matter. They don't matter. And the only people's opinions that should matter are the people that I care about, or the people that I find who are important in my life. Like for example, your opinion, I care about your opinion because like
Oh,
I
wow.
really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
appreciate you and I really like care about what you have to say. And if you were to say something to me, like I would take it to heart. But if some random person in the middle of the street, like I don't know, said like your shoes suck or whatever, and I'd be like, okay, like I don't even know you, I don't care, XYZ. You know what I mean? But like how I kind of think about being cool is more not like, oh, he's so cool, but more like someone who people can kind of like look at and be like, this is a good person type thing. And like I want to be seen in that way because I want to be like a light to people. Like I want to be like a nur that people can kind of like come to or that people can like benefit from or anything like that. And you know, my main thing is that like I just want to leave like a small impact. I just want to leave an impact, no matter how small or how big, anything like that. I want to leave an impact on the people that I meet, and I want that to be a positive impact. And then so that I may have brought like even if it's just like a tiny bit of goodness to this world or to the people I'm around. And if I've done that, you know what I mean? Like if I've brought some form of good, I'm satisfied. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, you are that type of guy to me. Like, as I've mentioned, anytime I
Alhamdulillah.
ran into you, it's like, wow, this is like, it's great seeing you. It's great talking to you. And it's like, this guy's going to say something that will uplift my day. So it's always awesome.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, Allah allowed me to be a means to bring you ease and happiness. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. I mentioned the whole cool thing because uh, I'm always very concerned, like, oh man, like, how do I look in the camera? Is my hair
Mm,
cool? Am I wearing the right clothes? XYZ. And there was a article about the eternal cool of Brad Pitt. And something that was written in there was it was trying to connect vulnerability to coolness. And it was saying that being truly vulnerable is not giving a damn about being cool. And I really thought about that. And it's like, yeah, I was probably the coolest when I didn't care about being cool. And it was like similar to what you're saying, like you're concerned about the sort of the positive effect that you can have in another person's life. And that
mm.
kind of like is okay for you. That makes you cool in a way. So it's just something I was thinking about. Haven't found all the words for it, but
No,
it's
I
just
get
something
it.
that's been on my mind.
And it made me like that reminded me of something that was like, when we're like so trying to not make mistakes is when we make the most mistakes, which is really ironic. And like I remember hearing something and it really opened my mind because I was just like, so there was this guy, and he was saying your brain, it focuses on what you're thinking, right? So if you're on if you're skiing, right, and you're like, don't hit the trees, don't hit the trees, don't hit the trees. All your brain is focusing on is the trees. And then you're gonna miss the path or you're gonna make a mistake on the path and then you'll hit a tree, right? But whenever you're like focus on the path, focus on the path, focus on the path, your brain is going to be focused on the path. And then you'll inevitably like you're not going to be looking at the trees, you're not going to be like worried about that. And because you're focused on your goal, because you're focused the journey to that goal, you know, all these other extra obstacles that kind of come in your way, like your brain won't be so hard focused on them. So you won't like, you would avoid them. You know what I mean? Naturally, you're going to avoid them. So it's kind of similar that way. It's like, and even like back to Vagabond, right? The whole concept is to be invincible under the sun. And, Musashi goes on this journey believing invincibility is being strong, right? But it's kind of ironic because in the end, like the less he cared about strength, the more invincible he became. And the people who were displayed to be invincible were these old men who just like who just let like the heavens or like God like move them on whatever path that they went on. And they accepted that immediately. You know what I mean? And in that, because they didn't define themselves as like invincible or as this, right, or as cool, they became infinite. Because whenever you like think about it, right? If I were to try to describe you in one word, would I be able to do that? Like your entire character in one word?
We
I
can't,
wouldn't be
can
able.
we? Yeah.
No, we can't because we're so as people, we're so vast. You know what I mean? And like we're infinite in the sense that we can be like anything. You know what I mean? Like, and but the moment we kind of like define ourselves as like, I want to be strong or I want to be like invincible, we put ourselves in a box, right? And that box is very limiting and constricting because like, and like, what even is it to be strong? What even is it to be invincible? It's just a word at the end of the day, right? The only meaning we give it is what we give it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's like that's kind of like when you try to be cool, you're literally limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself, and at the same time, you're limiting your mind, and your mind is so focused on only the obstacles, and it's just like it's just all these negatives just keep kind of like coming together, and then you become like, oh, the guy that tries too hard, or the guy that like does this or does that, and you become further away from your goal.